Okay, folks. Good evening, Facebook. This is your boy. Put that in the sink, please. Andre English coming at you. Going to do a basic trading this evening on, a basic training this evening on TradingView. For those of you who do not know, TradingView is simply an app, or not an app. It is an app, but it's also a platform that we use on the internet in order to help us trade. And so it's where we go and we begin to do things like set up the charts that you see with the lines and all the stuff that for most people looks like an EKG machine, and how we begin to set that up. So I'm going to do a very basic training just to help everybody get familiar with this. I know that there's some people on my team, some people in our organization, some people who have been trading on their phone exclusively, some people who have not been using TradingView. And it really does make things pretty easy. It makes things pretty convenient to be able to use the TradingView charts, especially from your laptop. Even if you do trade from your mobile device, if you can see it big, blown up, be able to see where price is moving, what's happening, draw your trend lines, do all the type of stuff there, and then just enter and exit your trades if you want to on your mobile. It actually can be very helpful. So with that being said, I'm going to do this training real quick and get started. One of the other beautiful things, again, for those of you who are part of our team, is that you know I'm daddy daycare to baby Bob here, Naila, and what that means is that she's always here and she loves meetings. So right now she's trying to get in on this meeting right now that we're broadcasting to everybody. So if you see me making weird movements, it's because I'm telling her that tonight is not the meeting for her. Okay, it's not the meeting for her. So as we begin to make this transition, give me one quick second and we will jump into, and I'll share my screen and I'll begin to show you exactly what's going on. All right, folks. There we go. Had to set the ground rules. Daddy daycare. You got to love it. All right. So what we're going to do real quick is I'm going to go ahead and share my screen. And what I've done here is just simply set us up here in a scenario where we're going straight to tradingview.com. Okay. So as you can see here, when you log into tradingview.com, very simple. You're going to come in here, and what you're going to see is that your page is going to look something like as follows. And you will see that it has a whole bunch of different things here: ideas, markets, scripts, forex screening, streams, brokers, charts, etc. And so the first thing you're going to want to do is, I see that there's start a free trial, but what I recommend doing is just clicking on the sign in button, and then you can use whatever it is. You can go over here to sign up, and if you click sign up, you can then begin to use, you can either use your Facebook, you can use whatever it is that you want to use, or you can use an email or a username and password. So I'm going to go ahead and just sort of see if we can walk through the process real quick. Big Dre demo. Let's do that. Dre. So you go ahead and click, make sure that they know you're not a robot. If there are bicycles, if there are none, click skip. I don't see any bicycles, we skip. If there are traffic lights, let's do here and here. Okay. Does that work? There we go. We're not a robot. and then we can go ahead and we can sign up. My name is already taken there, so let's try again. Sorry about that, folks. We're on the fly. This is how you know we're doing it just like you. All right. All right. So we go ahead and it's going to send to us an activation link, and we will then go and have to go check our email. So we'll have to go log into our different email that we have. So let's go ahead and do that real quick here. Let's log directly into Gmail. And we should have a TradingView confirm activate account. All right. So we just went through the steps. Now we're activated. We have our account up on TradingView. I don't need any of that right now. And so we're on TradingView, and here's what you're going to be able to do. Okay. So what you have here when you first log in is you'll see that you have this section here, what we like to call the ticker. That section there is important, but I'm just going to highlight using our screen share here. I'm just going to highlight a few things. You have here the ticker, which will allow you to place a currency pair into there, and we're going to do that in a second. You'll see this is where your account is, and you could decide if you wanted to upgrade to another account, a paid account or not. Over here is important because you see here, these are some currency pairs that are already on your watch list that you could click on. And here is an add symbol, and we'll come back to that as well. Add symbol will allow you to add a currency pair symbol there, and then it'll show up on your watch list. And so what your watch list is used for is basically just easy access, right? Easy access to the different currency pairs, and your watch list is controlled by this little hamburger menu right there, okay? So what I'm gonna do here is just clear my screen, just giving you an idea there. Now, what you're gonna do first, your first real thing to do here is go ahead and come over here. You can either click on one of these currency pairs over here, or you can put in a currency pair that you've heard of. Maybe it's gold British pound versus the US dollar. Okay, you see that that'll pull up. It'll give you a couple different options. For right now, that part isn't super important. So let's just click on gold British pound US dollar. As we click on that, what we'll see is that you have this option here. So it'll give you the different charts. Now you see right here how the charts are just sort of a line graph chart. Okay, true story, and this is a funny story. When I first started trading Forex, for the first 3 days, I basically traded off this line graph chart because I hadn't gotten to the part in our academy that went over TradingView, and no one told me any different at the time. And so I was just trading off of this, if you can believe it, okay? But what you're gonna wanna do is, now that you have your currency pair here, you're gonna wanna go ahead and click on full featured chart, okay? Click on the button there that says full featured chart, the big blue button, and when you click it, boom. It's gonna take you again to sort of a graph chart, but this is specifically for the gold British pound USD. Now what I wanna do is I'm gonna highlight a couple important things for you so that when I go to them, you'll be able to understand where I'm talking about. So the first thing you'll see here is that at the top left, it's actually going to show you gold British pound USD. It's actually showing you the currency pair that you're trading. It's also going to show you that again right here as British pound US dollar. Okay, right next to that, it says D. That is the chart that you're currently on, and we will get to that shortly, okay, to be able to change your time frames and stuff like that. Over here, you're going to see that it says indicators and strategies, where that FX is, okay? And you'll notice as a free customer, you do have to deal with ads that pop up. Over here, there's all kinds of other things, indicators, alarms, alerts, etc. So what we're gonna do is deal with the basics, okay? So the first thing you'll notice is that on the bottom of your chart, you have these red and green lines that are coming up called volume, okay? And what you're gonna want to do early on as you begin to trade until you understand some more indicators is you'll come here and you'll click the area that says volume and you'll move over to the X and you can just go ahead and click remove. Boom, you notice that that just disappeared, okay? Already our chart is looking a little cleaner. Now also, what you can do is then you're going to go to the area here where it says, excuse me, where did I put my area here? The area where it says area, right next to the D, sorry. And you're going to change it to candles, okay? Now there's different candles, there's hollow candles, Hakanashi candles, there's line graphs, there's Rankos, all this type of stuff. What you're going to want to do as a new trader is you're going to want to go over here and click on candles, and you're going to want to click the area that's starred, maybe that says add to favorites, and now you go ahead and click candles, okay? And so now you'll notice that your chart is now in candles, okay? So these areas here, as we zoom in to give you a better picture, especially because I know some of you guys are on Facebook, is that what you have here is that these individual sort of lines or bars that are on here are called candlesticks. And each candlestick, each bar represents a period of time. So it represents a period of time in the market. And so what this chart is saying is that each one of those candles, the period of time that is represented is the day. So each one of those candles is what the market, how the market moved over the course of one day, okay? How much the market moved, how the market moved over the course of one day. So we can have conversations later and other trainings about what you'll want to do in terms of how you want to analyze the market, etc. But what happens is that most people, when they're looking at their charts, they're going to go here and they're going to click that D for one day, and you'll see that it's going to pull up other time frames in which you can look at the market. Now, very few people come down to the 1 minute. That's usually something for our indices and other things in order to get a very precise entry for currency pairs that have high volatility, okay? But most people will come here and they will star the 5-minute chart, the 15-minute chart. They'll come down and star the 1-hour chart, the 4-hour chart, and the daily chart. Now, why this is important is because now what happens is if, say, I click 4 hours here, I don't have to repeatedly go down to that drop-down menu. Now you see the most common charts that I'm going to be looking at are already available for me in this section because I starred them and I added them to my chart. Do you see that? So now I can easily just go up here and I could jump between the 5-minute, the 15-minute, the 1 hour, the 4 hour, and the daily chart, and I can move quickly through my TradingView setup. Now I know for some of you guys, this is a very basic course. Most of you guys know a lot about TradingView, but there's a lot of people who are just sort of overwhelmed by TradingView, period. Now you'll also notice here at the bottom, I have all these sort of flags that are apparent here, these flags and stuff, and all this is news, other stuff. What I like to do is just go ahead and get rid of that. I want to hide the events chart. See, I just got rid of it. I clicked on it, I right-clicked on it, and I clicked hide events chart, and now I got that completely off of my chart, okay? So again, we're just running through a few basics here, all right? Just giving people some idea of what TradingView is and how to get the basics set up. Now, if you're using indicators, you would come over here to this FX and you would be able to click on it, and then you would be able to type in whatever indicator it is that you use. So if you use, for instance, the Bollinger Bands, you'd be able to place those on there. If you use the RSI or the Relative Strength Index, right? If you use the RSI, you'd be able to put that on there. And then let's just say you were using another thing, which would say, let's just say you use the Williams alligator, right? And you can put that indicator on there. These are just arbitrary indicators that I've chosen. What I wanted to show you is where you go. You go to the FX. In order to find the indicator that you want, you just begin to type in the search, or you can scroll down and look for it here on the right. Either way, I find it easier to just go ahead and throw it in the search first, and that way it gets me closer, because there's literally a ton of potential indicators that you could use. And so to scroll through every time, I just feel it's easier just to type it in. Now, once you have the indicators there, then what you want to do in order to set the indicators to the settings you want is scroll your mouse over the indicator. So as you see, my mouse scrolled over the RSI down here at the bottom. I can now, the first icon to the right of the name of the indicator, I can literally hide the indicator, or I can bring it back, okay? And then the other icon next to it is that settings wheel. I can click on the settings. I can change my inputs. Okay, again, for those of you, you would be brand new to this, you would be using the settings of an indicator that may be an educator, a mentor, someone who's helping you through the process, is teaching you. You could use and copy paste those settings, put them here. You can go over here and you can change the styles, again, using the settings that are familiar for the indicator or for the educator that you're following, especially if you're part of our academy. And then you go ahead and press OK. So you can do that same thing here. You see it says alligator. I've scrolled to the top. I can hide the alligator. So let's say there's certain charts or currency pairs. Maybe I like gold. I like to trade gold or oil, and I don't want the alligator indicator on there, but I use the alligator for my other charts. When I move over here, I can go ahead and just hide the alligator, but I can also make sure that the inputs are set to whatever they're supposed to be, okay? I can make sure that I have my input set there. So right now they're all set at default because this is just an example. And then you can change the colors. If you click on the colors, you can change the width of the colors, right? In order to make it so that it's easier for your eyes. You can do whatever you need there. And all of a sudden you click OK, and boom, you have your different indicators. Now what I'm going to do is remove this alligator indicator, and I'm going to go ahead and remove this Bollinger Band indicator. And the reason I want to do that is because I want to show you another section here in the future. And I think I'm going to go ahead and add 2 different moving averages. So when I come back here again, I want to add, and it shows it for you. See, it says indicators and strategies on the FX. When you scroll over it, I click on it, and I'm going to just type in moving average. And I'm going to click on it once, and I'm going to click on it a second time, which will give me 2 moving averages. Now, the reason why I didn't just add those moving averages now and hide it is because on a free account with TradingView, you're only entitled to 3 indicators, okay? 3 indicators. If you want to use more indicators than that, then you need a paid account with TradingView. A paid account is not very expensive. For the next level up, it's $15 a month. Not very expensive. You can pay yearly. Here's a little pro tip. A little pro tip is that if you subscribe for 1 month and then you cancel your subscription, they become very generous on the cost going forward because they want to keep you as a paying customer, because it's easy to use this platform for free. So the first month you probably would pay whatever price you were paying, the $15.95 or $14.95. I can't remember exactly what it is. But then you have the option of canceling your subscription after that month and seeing how generous they get going forward. Just be prepared. Usually that generosity comes as the yearly price. So let's say if it's normally $15 and they said, hey, you know, do you really want to quit? Because if you're willing to pay $5 a month, we'll keep you on. If 15 was too much, but then when you sign up for that, then they're going to want you to pay like $60 for the year so that you're locked in for a year. So just giving you a heads up about that, but that is a little pro tip for you to be able to take advantage of a discount for TradingView so that you can get access to more indicators. The higher the plan, the more indicators and the more alerts that you can set. Alerts become important in the future. So again, I'm setting these different MAs. I'm gonna go ahead and set 2 different MAs real here. I'm gonna go ahead and change the setting. I'm gonna go ahead and change the color to say yellow. I like mine a little thicker personally. I'm gonna go ahead and change the input. I'm gonna put that one at 5. I'm then gonna go ahead and come here. Again, on the second MA, I'm gonna change it to 13. And then I'm going to change the style to red. Red, I'm going to go ahead and change there, okay? So that's my MA there, just for purposes now, and you'll see that that's set to the screen. Now, a lot of you guys will see also that there is sort of a faded white and, faded kind of gray lines that are going through. So one of the things a lot of people are comfortable, it's up to you. You can use the white screen. I did for a very long time, but I also found that I liked the darker screen. So I went here and I can come here to appearance. So, excuse me, let me explain what I did so that we are familiar. I right-clicked on the screen anywhere. Once I right-clicked, it brought me down. I can go down to settings. I went to appearance, and I can change my background from white to whatever color I want. A lot of people like to use black, okay? And then what I did to get rid of that, some people don't like the sessions breaks, the scale lines, all these different things. You can begin to change them. So vertical grid lines, if you click on that, I took the opacity all the way down to 0. Okay, you'll notice that the vertical lines in that chart now disappeared. Okay, I still have the horizontal lines. So if I skip or right click, excuse me, go back here and I go to horizontal lines again and I take that all the way down, you'll notice that my lines disappeared. Now you'll notice on the right, my colors over here, you'll notice that my colors on the scale here have changed and they're not very bright, and that would be difficult to see in terms of price. So again, if I right click, I go to my settings, I'm on the appearance, my scale lines and my scale text can change color. So I can change that to white and you'll notice that they became very bright. I can even change my lines to white. They become very bright and easy to see. And then I can even change my crosshair, which I'll show you what that is. So that's bright and easy to see as well. Then I just come down here and click. So my crosshair is actually this line that as I move across, you'll see in the middle of my screen. Let's actually get it for you so you can see it specifically. My crosshair is essentially this section right here. And as I move my mouse, it moves left to right, and you can see the vertical lines and the horizontal lines. What that does is allow you to use the tools and get a precise position that you're looking at, all right? So my crosshairs are also white and bright. So now I have a really clean looking chart that I can begin to use and look at, very easily set up, okay? So once we have that, you've got basics down. You're able to set the chart to the appearance that you want. You're able to get rid of the vertical grid lines if you so desire. You're able to make sure that the scale, which is where price is easy to see. So as an example here, price is in this scale. Again, I'm coming at this as if you are brand new and you don't understand this at all, but price is actually being used in this scale right here. This green line that's currently coming across to this green area is telling you exactly where price is. So right now it says 1.25784. That is the current price for the currency pair gold, British pound, USD. And you see below it, it says 193244. So 19 hours, 32 minutes, and 40 seconds. So that is the length of time that is left on this particular candle that is forming, because again, we're on the day chart. So if we went down to the 5-minute chart, you'll notice that that length of time changes. We got 2 minutes and 25 seconds, 2 minutes, 23 seconds. So it's going to change per chart. You'll also notice that the way your charts look change dramatically depending on what time frame you're on. And so that's why people begin to start their analysis on the bigger time frame, because the bigger time frame is giving you an idea of where chart price is actually going, and then a smaller time frame is giving you an idea of when to enter. So you'll notice that I was able to move my charts in and out like that. I'm just using my mouse in order to do that. Okay, I'm using the wheel on my mouse in order to do that. If you don't have a mouse, you can use your finger pads on your laptop. But I am using my mouse to go ahead and do that, okay? So the other thing that you'll want to notice is on the scale itself, when I came over to the scale, you notice I have my crosshairs right now, but when I come over here, you notice that it turns into a little up and down arrow, and that is because if I left click on the scale and I move up or down, it's going to change my chart. And basically, it's also going to change the amount of pips between these two lines. Okay, so it's going to allow me to zoom further out or further in, depending on what I need to do and what I'm looking at for my chart. So that's going to give you just another little tool that you can use and you can begin to play around with. Okay. So again, you can use crosshairs, you can use an arrow, right? You can use all kinds of different things. You can begin to change that. Up here to the left will give you that option of to change what you're using in that particular area. So now let us come over here and let us look at our little hamburger chart up here. If we want to make this screen pop out a little bigger, all we do is we click that watch list and it disappears. And now we have more room on our screen. We go ahead and click the watch list again. And of course, it's going to pop back out. Any of these currency pairs that you do not want, you could begin to remove them from your watch list if you so desired, or you can continue to have them on there. So over here, you'll notice that there's an X. That X will allow you to take it off. Ooh, I took volatility off. I should not have done that. You have an X. Well, I'm not using this anyway. You can begin to take off whatever currency pair that you don't want. You also notice that it does have stocks that are optional. All right, if you so desire, it has stocks on there. It has cryptocurrency. Okay, you can have whatever you want on here and it'll begin to keep that information for you. If you want to add a currency pair, let's say you finally learned how to jump into the indices and you want to begin to look those up, you can come over here, you can click the indice and it'll put it on the bottom, and now it'll change chart to that indice. So why is that easy? Because you didn't want to have to come back to this entry-level page and keep typing in currency pairs and then go into full feature chart every time you wanted to switch between them. So what you have here is now any currency pair that you trade, that you like to look at, you can quickly move between the different currency pairs and it'll pull up the charts. Now you notice your settings are set and stay from chart to chart, which gives you the convenience of having to not reset up every time and allowing you to be able to use what you use on a regular basis in order to analyze the market. This is one of the conveniences of TradingView, okay? So now that that's done, the other thing that you can do is you can begin to set alerts. So as an example, if I wanted to, and I believe you can only set one alert on a free account, but let's just say that I've noticed that every time this yellow line crosses the red line in a direction, that price continues to move in that direction for a period of time. And therefore, it gives me an indication that when that particular cross happens, that if it crosses up, let's say, it might be a good indication to look for a buy. If it crossed below, it might be a good indication to look for a sell, etc., etc. So what I can do then is go to the time frame that I want to enter. So I'm not doing that on the daily. I'm looking down here and I'm saying to myself, when these crosses happen, I want to be able to catch them sooner. So what I can do is come down to the chart that I want to use, and then I right click on the particular line. So right there is a moving average. If I right click on it, add alert on moving average 5, right? My yellow line was set to 5. So if I add the alert there, what'll happen is it'll come here, it'll say crossing, and then the value I want to change to is my other MA, the red line. Boom. Once per bar. Because it's a free account, I can't do open-ended, but I could notify myself on the app. If I get my app set up, I can have it send me an email. I can have it just pop up on my screen, and all I got to do is click create, and now I have an alert set. Why is that important? So what if you're going about your day? You can't stare at these charts all day, but you want to be notified when a potential move in the market takes place. There you go. You just set an alert, and every time that cross happens, it will send an alert to your phone, okay? Or send an alert to your email or however you have it set up. So let me give again, right click on it. You're gonna go here. This is just this one, but you're gonna change it. You wanna change it once per bar. You'll want crossing or whatever the settings is that you want, and then you would hit create, okay? For those of you watching again, all right? So there. So I've taught you how to change the coloration. I've taught you how to go to candles. I've taught you how to set up and permanently star the charts that you're going to use the most. I've taught you how to find your indicators and be able to add your indicators. We've taught you how to add to your watch list. We've taught you how to modify your indicators and change them to whatever settings that your mentor or instructor is telling you to do. We've taught you how to add an alert, and we've taught you how to change the coloration of the background of your chart, remove the grid lines, and make your chart look clean. So last thing I want to show you is over here. By the way, we just did a whole lot. That's a whole lot. A lot of people don't get that information, and they struggle with what to do. Over here is access to other tools that you can use on TradingView, again, making TradingView incredibly valuable. So let's look over here. We already saw that we have here to change our cross line to whatever we want. Right below the cross line there, if we click that little arrow, it says Trendline Tools. As we open that up, it will give us the ability to draw a trend line, horizontal rays, vertical lines, arrows, rays, whatever we want to use. So let's just use trend line, that's standard. And let's just say if we were drawing a trend line, we've now clicked that, we would left click to start, and then we would draw the trend line however we wanted to draw it in whatever direction. So that's easy where to find it. How to set up and draw trend lines, we'll deal on another section again, but that's where you're going to find that. If you wanted to quickly be able to draw a horizontal line across your screen to be able to show you a support and resistance area, you just click on it again, and you have the line. If you want to change the color, thickness, anything of that line, you right click on the line, well, that's an alert. You click on the line, excuse me, and you notice that there's a bar that is pulled up, a graph bar right here, okay, that is pulled up where you can now change the color. So I can change to any color I want it. I can change the thickness of my line. I can also change if I have the line broken, solid, etc. Okay, you can do that, and so that you can draw a quick line across to give you an idea of support and resistance. You can use that. Some people like to draw zones so they don't use a specific line, but you're getting my point. These tools are right here. Let's say I wanted to draw a ray, which is, again, if I had my line here and I said, okay, this is where you know, we're going to draw up here and get ourselves a good trend line. I can do that, and then boom, I can hit the ray. Okay, if I want to remove any of these indications, I can just remove there by clicking on it. You see, by clicking on it again, I can remove it one by one, or if I right click, I can go here and I can click remove drawings, and it'll take all of the drawings off of my chart. Okay, so that's an important section right there. We'll go back to Trendline. You also have other area here for those of you who like to do Fibonacci's, other things like that. That's where you'll locate that. This paintbrush is very popular section here because, again, people will take the rectangle instead, right? And what they will do is, when I said a support and resistance zone, they'll actually draw sort of a zone like this, give you a rectangle so that it's not one specific price, but it's giving you a zone. You can then change the color. If you liked, if you wanted to say as a resistance zone, you want it to be, you know, red, whatever, you can change that all up and you can begin to use that in whatever manner you want. Okay, so again, just giving you a few of the tools. If you want to type text boxes and you wanted to put some text, you can do that by clicking on that there and typing and being able to create a text, animation, note, call out, balloons, whatever it is, you'll be able to do that. Okay, put that onto your chart. Let's get rid of that. Get away. All right, now up here, okay, you'll notice there's another box here. You can go ahead and get rid of this as well. Hide the buy sell panel. Since you're not using this platform to actually buy or sell, you can do that as well. So there we go. We're not going to draw today. Here's my comment. Hi. All right. Boom. You see, I drew text right here in a balloon. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of that now. Okay. So, and then the last tool over here, I want to show you the last two right here is your zoom in. So if you wanted to zoom in to a certain part of the market, you can click that, highlight the area you want to zoom in, and you'll see that it'll pull you up and give you a closer look at the market. If that frightens you and you want to know what's going on, as you scroll down, if you move your crosshairs down, you'll notice at the bottom of the screen here pops up a plus, a minus, some arrows to the left or right, which will allow you to scroll left or right. But you can go ahead and then click the minus, pull that back out, scroll all the way to the right, will take you to where current price is, and then you can move this back down by moving this up and down, and you can be right back looking at price the way you normally do. Okay, and then this tool right here is also important. It is a measuring tool which allows you to quickly count pips. So let's say you entered a trade at the bottom of this candle, you left click and you pull it up, and not only will it show you how many pips you got, so in this case that trade got you 24 pips. It took you 11 bars or 11 candles, so to speak, and so that trade from the point that you entered to the point that you hit 24 pips took 55 minutes or 1 hour. Okay, so using that is an important measurement tool as well. So I think I've given you most of the basics that you'll use. You know, this was not an advanced course. I hope that this provided some value of how to use TradingView. If you come over here, this alarm clock will allow you to see what alerts that you currently have. So you see I have that, still have that alert set up. And then again, I can switch back to my watch list. So I hope that you guys got some value out of this. If you did, great, leave a comment, share it with some friends, whatever. But I was excited to share it with you. I know that when I first got started, I didn't really get into TradingView as much as I should have. I just sort of jumped on. I didn't really know how to negotiate it. Like I said, I didn't get into to that video of the academy before I even started going live trading. And so this stuff I hope provides you guys with a little bit of help for someone who's a brand new trader, doesn't know how to negotiate that particular platform. I hope that you guys got some value out of it. If you did, leave me a comment. Let me know. I greatly appreciate it. Other than that, folks, I hope you guys have a great day, and we will see you guys soon with some more content on how to become a successful Forex trader. A lot of the stuff that we're doing right now as we begin to expand is to really focus in on new traders and giving them the tools that they need to succeed. All right, I hope that helps. Talk to you guys later. Have a great night.